Tri-City Sports Now. I want to thank our guests so far. And if you missed him, usually Jerry Bonkowski comes on at one position. He hit second today. There's sort of a debate whether or not, that's actually second, where you can hit it with at least one man on theoretically in every inning. That's the place to put the best hitter. He'll come up, therefore, that many more times over the course of a season, someone hitting third or fourth. I don't know if you buy that or not, but that's one of the arguments for say. Normally you think of someone hitting second, it's like a second baseman that can hit behind the runner and move him over for the 3 and 4 hitters or so. But anyway, we moved up Jerry Bonkowski, and so he hit second today. And we had mentioned he thinks Jimmy Johnson will win the All-Star race. What a surprise. Still goes with Jimmy Johnson, that sort of thing. So give him the right rev of speed. You can watch that on archive on our 1420 WEMB Sports Radio Facebook page. I've archived that interview if you are tuning in right now. And you say, I want to hear Jerry Bonkowski and what he had to say about the All-Star race and all that. Just go back. I haven't slugged it yet, but it's the second segment. To watch this show whenever you want to. Find out who's going to be on it. We are about to become the most liked Facebook page. We're only about 100 back of any sports radio station in this market. And frankly, with our signal, that's amazing. And we've almost got 1,400 followers and likes on Twitter. And I think historically that used to be done by a radio station, but now the Twins are going to hire it because they're under the operations of Boyd Sports. They're going to pay him $1,000 for the year. That's about par for the course, by the way, in the Appalachian League. And so that sort of shows what's going on. But they have made some other hires, and I should say this. Mandy Barefoot, who is the general manager, I want to have her on. She is the assistant general manager. And Mandy Barefoot and Lindsay Shirley will function as the ticket sales manager. Now we can ask, where do you market to? I mean, you get a town of 12,000 people there, and where else do you go to? Minneapolis, North Carolina? But still. Barefoot was the ticket manager of the Mississippi River Kings of the Southern Professional Hockey League, and she supervised ticket sales, promotions, and social media. There you go. Bandits. Shirley, who will be the ticket manager, attended the University of North Alabama, where she received her degree in marketing and minor in sports management. She compiled 2 internships, one with the Palm Spring Power and another with the Johnson City Cardinals, and she also worked in sales and catering with the Birmingham Barons. So you're getting baseball people, you're getting professional people, this sort of thing. That's Alan Gorman on this show, and it never did. And I was willing to jump through every hoop they wanted to until they asked me to commit journalistic sacrilege. And that was, could you tell us what questions you're going to ask him? I'm trying to pretend. He's only 18. Okay, he's only 18. By the way, I've got this picture right. He's being interviewed by KMOX. It's pretty major St. Louis media. And they used to say that KMOX was the nation's #1 sports radio station. I think that, Nolan Gorman is... Oh, wait. Here he is a year ago being profiled with video on MLB.com. Oh, wait a minute, the Arizona Republic, that's the main paper in Phoenix. Here's a big feature with him. I think he's handled big-time media before. He's the #1 draft choice. I think that he should be able to handle a sports talk show. The team of Steve Carlton, too. What about his media relations skills? Yeah, I know a couple old-time ball players didn't like to talk to the media right there. But anyway, the Twins hiring a few people. So I would say look for the Twins. When Boyd Sports has touched something in terms of minor league baseball, they have they've looked at the baseball draft or whatever and such. So we'll be talking a little bit more about that as the time.
Everybody on the top line's got a cookie tonight. Brad Martin Marchand with the empty netter. The Boston Bruins have a 4-0 lead here in Carolina, and they are celebrating on the bench.
The New York Islanders swept the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Carolina Hurricanes, the bunch of jerks, the Carolina Hurricanes, thus giving an early exit to the Don Cherry Series. So it's the Bruins that will be in the Stanley Cup Finals, and they'll take on the winner of St. Louis and San Jose. Of course, that's now 2-1 lead for San Jose, called in overtime, and what was it, 2 nights ago, but they'll play tonight. Certainly that's must win for the Blues. From the marketing standpoint, I think that the Stanley Cup Finals, if it is Boston and San Jose, one could do far worse. San Jose, who played for the Cup in 2015, was it 2015? No, 2016, excuse me, against the Penguins, they actually drew higher ratings than when it was the Penguins and the Predators. Because the way it's said is, well, I think Pittsburgh's the 24th, San Jose, that's in the Bay Area, so that's top 5. And then Boston, I want to say, is the number 6 media market. I want to say that. So you've got 2 top 10 media markets that would meet. And yes, there was the difference. The idea is that all the hockey fans in the Heartland are going to watch the Stanley Cup Final no matter who it is that play. But when you have the home team playing, let's say it's New York, and I don't know, the Rangers are in it or the Islanders are in it or whatever, we'll watch. That's sort of been... So if you have everybody in the 5th and the 6th biggest markets, it will therefore generate a bigger rating than it will if you have, let's say, a Super Bowl with Green Bay and Jacksonville. Okay, that's the theory there. I do find some flaws with that. I look at the NFL, and look, Brett Favre, did all those endorsements, still does. He played in Green Bay, for crying out loud. Peyton Manning played in Indianapolis, hardly a big market. He's still doing that. Marketing and all this. The Dallas Cowboys aren't in a, I think they're in a top 10 market, but they're not in a top 4 market. And they are supposedly America's team, or the Pittsburgh Steelers, or for that matter, the Packers, or, these are teams with national followings, and they play in not number 1 markets. It's actually one of the reasons why I think that people that like to say the Knicks, because they had the worst record, to get the number 1 pick in the draft, well, I think they deserve it, sure, but the NBA thinks that there should be a draft lottery. I don't. They do. They've done it for 34 years. And so I think it hurts teams like that. And yeah, it would have been a big buzz for Zion Williamson to come to New York. But you know what? The NBA has done just fine with the New York Knicks not winning a title since 1973. When the Yankees were really competitive. So the sport is better when New York wins is the most biased fanboy New Yorker attitude there possibly could be. The arrogant New Yorker. And I will also say this. Yeah, the NFL, it really took off when the Packers, Steelers, and Cowboys had dynasties. Those aren't huge markets. Look at the ratings. Trust me on that. Back after this.
If you love strawberries, come and celebrate.